Okay, hi everyone. Okay, so for most of you who have seen me in the past few weeks, you probably know me as a business owner, right? And actually, as a business owner, I'm actually someone who's very goal-driven. I want things fast, efficient, and I can always do things on myself. But actually, if you look at me closer, you will just realize that actually I'm a woman that's drowning. Okay? So it all brings back today. I'm not going to tell you about how I close my sales, but I'm going to tell you a little bit more about myself and the story behind Tree of Life. Okay. So I'm actually an engineer by profession. So I worked in the multinational for 16 years. At the very peak of my career, I had a life-threatening son, right? I had a wake-up call. My son was diagnosed with leukemia, stage 4 cancer, and it's acute. So during that time, right, I basically just had a hard stop. Nothing was more important than him. I had to take care of him, work from the hospital for 8 months. And during that period, right, I actually met my career, which is Nefu. This product actually saved him, and I took the leap of faith. I gave up my high-paying corporate role. I went with me and my husband into the business as to share this love that this product saved me with more outside there. So that's why I took the leap of faith and jumped into something that I have no experience with, which is sales. And during that period, right, I was running my business with the top of the notch. I mean, in 6 months, I was the highest ranked. In 8 years, I was leading 8 leaders worldwide. But what happened is that I was really burnt out. So it was another wake-up call for me. I had depression. I was totally broken, not just because of COVID. It was actually because my mom left me on a sudden death. She fell, and within 24 hours, she left us. So that was actually really broke me to the core. I basically could not function on my head. I could not eat, I could not sleep, and that was 15 months of pain. And that was the one that drives me and strives me to who am I today that you see on Tree of Life. So what actually happened is, I'm actually, after attending Dr. Lee's, I know that I'm a green and red brain. I want everything fast, efficient, data. This is what I was previously, right? And then I realized that I was empty. Actually, it was an empty vessel. It was empty inside. I don't have a faith. And that was really the reason whereby I had and discovered, and I woke up of depression on my own, and I found God. And that was the faith that I was holding on until today. And with that, right, it actually detoured a lot of what I see in people and see in things. It was totally different. It was really a higher purpose. And I was looking for alignment. I know that I no longer look at energy. I no longer look at time management. I look at energy alignment. I know that it's all about self-love. Without loving yourself, you are pretty empty. And when you're empty, right, you cannot pour the love out to others. So that's what I discovered in my journey of pain in the last 15 months. Okay. So what did I actually, in terms of this depression period that I actually learned also, was to let go. Letting go is to love more. I let go and I stepped back during that period. I let my leaders lead for me. And it was really a pain because I was leading everyone. Then suddenly I became like handicapped, right? I don't have myself again. So during that period, I learned to listen to them. Let them lead me before I lead myself. And with that, right, it actually helped me a lot to balance the body, mind, and soul. It was no longer about money, it was no longer about profit, it was no longer about awards. It was all giving and listening to them. I believe that everybody has their own journey, and they should walk their own journey. And it was not me to steer everything for them. So this is what I realized. So that's why it came to my finding a balance. Dr. Lee talk about work-life balance. For me, it's a balance of I have the physical already. NEFU was actually buffering me during my depression. It gave me enough time for me to walk out and discover the truth behind. And then I use people, my engagement with people was through not the color brain that time, not the DIC, it was through life path numerology. So that's where I discovered that everybody has their strength, and it allowed me to use their strength, but at the same time it allowed me to rest more because I know how to use them. I know how to bring out the best in them so that they can lead on their own. So I took time for myself. I returned, and Sundays are time where I rest because that was what stays in the Bible for us. So that's where I take my time to take the rest. And from network standpoint, last time when I see people, I see birthdays, I see numbers, I see how they are going to help me. But it was really very, very selfish on myself. Then I learned about giving. I just learned that when I see people, right, I see their soul. I see people down themselves. What are they fighting for? How can I help them? How can I help them in their purpose? So that's where I connected with people. After my depression, right, it was a 1.5 years of really revamping myself. And then I was leading together with the body, mind, and soul, connecting. That was where I founded the Tree of Life Empire. So, as I said, the old me was very transactional, right? And then the new me, I've helped people find transformation. So this is pretty much the last slide, okay? So last time I was like the lifeboat, you know? I was trying to save everyone. Everybody had pull from the water into the lifeboat, but the lifeboat very small. So eventually it capsized. Then I realized that I need to change. So when I met Dr. Lee, I found the word transformation. So transformation, I became the lighthouse. So I just turn on the lights, let people see that this is where to go, and then after that steer them towards that. So guiding them and trusting them to steer their own boat. And I don't steer for them, but I show them where the danger is. So this is my last one slide, and my personal mantra is heal the roots, okay, and then reveal the purpose. So don't be like me, right? I went through a disaster to discover this. So if you can today, just one thing away, remember to take care of yourself, because as an entrepreneur, if you don't take care of yourself, we will not be able to solve the problem of the world and take care of others. So I close my presentation today.